What is 43? 43 is a handy portable card game suitable to play with friends and family. Inside each box, you will get an instructions sheet as well as a score sheet. Each box has 2 decks of cards. There are 4 colors in each deck. The first is baby blue, followed by navy blue. After that comes yellow, and finally the red. There are also 2 43 cards and a karma card. And for those of you who don't like to go through the instructions each and every time, there are 2 quick start cards for you in every deck. Let's make life simple and call these the fire colors, while we call these the ice colors. So the fire colors go from the number 1 to the number 10. But the ice colors go from the number 1 till the number 7, along with 3 picture cards each. Let's talk more about the ice colors. The ice colors, as we mentioned, have 3 picture cards. So let's talk about these in detail. The lock. So what is the lock? The lock locks or a completed set so that no one can steal or add to it unless it's you or your teammate. What about the pass? The pass is simply straightforward. It just skips the next player's turn. And the steal. The steal can just take the last card dropped from the previous player instead of withdrawing from the deck. But it only works for numbers, not pictures. So what's the 43? 43 can be any card you want. It can also be the lock or the unlock. What about the karma? Let's make life easier and just pretend that we're in a game, and these are my cards, these are my opponent's cards, and this is the deck. Okay, so I can do one of the 3 things. I look at my opponent's card, he just has 1 card, and I think they're winning. So if I use this card in the middle, I can actually switch cards with them. They have no say in it whatsoever. They have to take all my 100 million thousand cards and give me this 1 card. Or I can actually do another thing. Let's just pretend that this was my cards again, and I really hate these cards and they're getting me nowhere. So I decide to switch my cards with new cards from the deck. I have to count my cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and get 5 new ones from the deck. You can give them a shuffle if you want to, unless you don't want your cards back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say I like my cards and I want to switch my opponent's cards. In this case, he only has 1 card. So when he wants to take cards from the deck, he has to take 5. As the rule says, if someone has less than 5 cards, they have to take 5 cards. So there you go, 5 cards. And that's the karma. The aim of the game is to finish your cards first. And how do you finish your cards first? By creating sets. The first type of set is the identical set, as you can see here. It's a set in which you use the same number, but in different colors. The minimum requirement for this set is 3 cards, and the maximum is 4, as there are 4 colors. The second type of set is called the chain set. The chain set is a type of set in which the numbers go in order, using the same color. It can start with any number you desire and end with any number, as long as the set has a minimum of 4 cards, and there is no maximum for this type of set. The third type of set you can create is the chained fire set. It's actually the same as the chain set, except for the fact that we use the fire colors mixed together to create the set. Next comes the chained ice set, and that has the exact same rules as the chained fire set, except for the fact that you can never mix these 2 colors together to create a set, only if you're creating the identical set. By the way, there's one more thing I forgot to tell you. These 2 types of sets can be created in any order you desire, but they have to be equal and balanced. So if you use 2 yellows, you have to use 2 reds. This can never be created, as it's not the proper way of creating a chained fire set. They have to be equal, so if you put 2 yellows, you put 2 reds. The same applies to the blues. You can never ever create this set, ever in a million billion years, as you're mixing the fire and ice together, and that's never possible unless you're creating this set. If you want to make the game harder, you can create this type of set, which is called the chain identical type of set. This is a set in which you use either the ice colors or the fire colors to create both a chain and identical at the same time. The minimum number of cards required for this set is 4. Cards can be added to a completed set, and that's called add-ons. For example, here we've got a chained yellow set. And I've got these 2 cards in my hand, which are 2 3s. Yet the other 3 is here. So what I do is, I add on to the 3. So in this case, I'm using the 3 in both directions, vertically and horizontally. Then, I got 2 5s. Yet the other 5 is here. So I do the same thing. I just add on to the 5 to create a new set by using the number that's already there. What if I get these? 4, 6, 7. I'm missing a 5, which is baby blue, obviously. But it's here, so I do the same thing. This process is called add-ons. Oh, one more thing. Let's say I've got a 7 and a 43. But there's a 7 here. So I can pretend this 43 is a 7 and just add it here to create another set. There's one thing you need to know about add-ons. It's that you can only add a card if it creates a set. For instance, if you have a 4 and there's a 4 here, you can't just randomly place this 4 because it does not create any set anywhere, not horizontally or vertically. But if you have a 6, you can add it here as it completes the set. And that's it for add-ons. And now I'll show you how it's played. I got a friend to help me demonstrate. First things first, shuffle your cards. As we're 2 players, we need to use 1 deck and 10 cards each. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There you go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. On the first round, you only take a card and drop a card without making any moves. Eldest starts first, so I'll go. After the first round, you can make a move. You can lock your opponent's set. It doesn't matter whose set it is. You can lock any set you desire from the table. You can also add on to any set. This is how to unlock. But they have to go in the center. And now that I threw something in the middle, it's your turn. You can throw the steel in the middle without stealing. And now I won the game. So that's how the game is played. And now for the things you cannot create. Any identical set above the number 7, as the number 8 does not exist in blue. The second thing you cannot create is this type of chained set, as it's not part of the rules. The third thing you cannot create is this type of set. If you're going to create any chained fire set, it's impossible to add 3 cards of one color and 1 card of another color. They always have to be balanced. Same thing applies to the ice colors. And finally, the last thing you can never create is a chained ice set above the number 7. As we mentioned earlier, blues go to the number 7. So what you do in this case is take the 43 and put it the opposite side so that it's a 4. Bye!